right, here we go. This is it.
This is it.
Leadership Lean In.
What episode?
We're in the 50s. I do know that. I want to say 57.
Go on.
It doesn't matter. We have the new reliable,
Yes.
our own walking Google.
Yep.
The Wanster.
Juan.
He's I always say he's wantastic.
That's amazing.
There's only one problem.
What?
I'm kidding. One problem.
Oh. I walked right into that one.
You
Dang
kinda
it.
did.
We're supposed to be clowning you on, not me.
Let's go.
Hold on,
Shoot.
but Juan, as you set everything up, how come you're not in the picture? How come you're not in the frame? Juan behind his Wizard of Oz curtain.
Yeah, actually.
He is
hiding.
the wizard of leadership. See what I did there?
Yeah. Keep going.
He is the wizard of beards.
Of
By the way, to all the single listeners out there,
Yeah.
the Wanster is incredibly single.
yes.
Have been
Juan is
incredibly
single, ready to mingle.
If you are from West Texas
Yeah.
or South Texas, not West,
South Texas.
South
yeah,
Texas.
yeah, Texas. Welcome to Leadership Lean In. We are very excited to have, obviously, the great Erika the Boss Bozhko back
Thanks.
on the, I almost said the gram, but the pod, and now house resident. You're like a MGM house resident. You're like our own little Tiesto. Juan is here to talk, and when I say talk,
behind the
I mean
curtain.
produce
Yep.
Amen.
leadership content. We're talking today. This is a great title.
I'm excited.
You can lose games,
Mhm.
but you can't lose the locker room.
Nope.
And this came from listening to, if you have followed Leadership Lean In for any length of time, you
Yeah.
know I love Colin Cowherd. He is my favorite guy that I listen to talk sports. And he was saying this about a coach the other day. He's saying you can lose the game. Okay, of course, like you lose games, but you just can't lose the locker room.
Mhm.
Which immediately I thought about our context on Sundays. Like you can have a bad Sunday.
Yeah.
You just can't lose the staff. So it's always like it's the locker room, it's the team that trumps the outcome.
Yes,
I think
results,
we
yeah.
we live in a world of results. We're results oriented. We're results based. Probably if you're listening to the pod, like you want to be
Yeah.
result oriented.
Yeah, of course.
And I get that. You're a driven person.
Yeah.
You want to achieve. I want to achieve.
Yep.
Juan, it's a different subject. It's another pod. Maybe episode 60. We can get there. But
He's like taking notes.
yeah, he's like, wait,
Okay.
I'm going to be on episode 60.
Yeah.
No, you're not, behind the curtain. But I think, it also made me think of Coach Carroll, which, I'm a big Seahawks fan.
Yeah,
We're from,
yes.
you're from Seattle. I'm from Seattle.
I popped in there for a few years.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did. You just blessed the Northwest
And I
with your
was like, I'm
presence.
out.
And then you're like,
I'm back.
Nope.
LA.
Going back to LA.
Yeah.
Hit the track. I'm going back to
Cali.
Cali. Which is so funny. We would never say Cali.
No. Oh my gosh.
Signs that
is a
Biggie is not from California.
Sure sign that you're not from California, and
Yeah.
you maybe get a
convertible
convertible when you come.
Yeah, he's
like
from
rent a convertible.
Yeah,
You say Cali.
right. And you want to stop it in and out right away.
Yes. Oh
It's
my
like
gosh.
the first thing we do when we
Yeah.
get to Cali is we go to In and Out
Yeah.
and they get
This is so
a
good.
cheeseburger.
Cali.
Yeah, we
So
just went
Cal.
and post about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, rest in peace to the notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
who
Respect.
socially made that mistake, his only mistake. But we're from the Northwest, and Coach
Yeah.
Carroll, it made me think of, the worst play in the history of the Super Bowl, the 1 yard line,
Yeah.
which, the math and the stats say that's the play they were supposed to run. So the offensive coordinator, coach, they run that play.
Mhm.
Of course, we would all say Marshawn Lynch was
Yeah.
just the Skittle lover himself was
You-
standing right there, and
Run the ball.
we could have easily done that. But, what transpired after that, in my opinion, watching Richard Sherman or Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Michael Bennett, a lot of these, Cliff Averill, I'm just naming the
Yeah,
whole
you're
defense.
going. You're like a few of these guys, and then it's like the whole defense.
Right. So you can lose a locker room.
Yeah.
And it's not games that matter so much. It's the team, which
Mhm.
I always have believed in. It's all about the team.
Yeah.
Even in our context for church, like I always think, we meet on Tuesdays. That's when we have staff meeting. I always think the Tuesday meeting is more important than the Sunday meeting.
Yeah.
Because I've been at churches, or I've seen churches where Sunday's really, really great, and the staff is really, really not, as far as unity, buy-in, morale, great encouragement. A lot of times teams can be divisive.
Yeah.
teams can be very, fragmented. And I think that it just goes in order. I think leadership is always in order.
Yeah.
Like it's got to go you, your home, your team, and then whatever business or organization you're leading or church, whatever, fill in the blank. And so I've always believed, like, pay attention to the team.
Yep.
The team will tell you how the organization's doing.
Yeah.
And if you go in order, then, that's like the last thing, the results. So, Rich just called. Should we?
Oh, answer.
Should we just put him on speakerphone real fast?
Yeah. This is great.
Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can hear him.
Give him a warning
Rich,
shot.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. You're on Leadership Leaning right now. Is that okay? You're on the pod.
Hey, what's going on? Leadership Leaning.
We actually want to know when are you coming back? It's been a number of years since we've had you on the great pod.
I don't know. You guys never ask me anymore. It's always like other people.
It's interesting. We've reached out to your people. We've had no returned emails.
Yeah.
I think I've emailed personally 5 times. I'm kidding.
That can't be true.
I'm kidding.
Can't be true.
He's so mad.
I'm kidding. He takes it serious. We're being facetious, brother. I do
really
gotta admit, before we press record here, the great Erika Bozhko was referring to your pod and saying it's a great laugh. It's a great listen.
So funny.
Did you feel like we did good together?
You and me?
Yeah, me and you. How did you feel?
Oh, bro, it takes 2 to tango, and you and we know how to do it.
I feel like we do, and I really like you, I don't know if I've ever told you that. Like, I really enjoy you.
I think we've got a gift. I think it's the gift of synergy that when we come together, it's symbiotic. It's beautiful.
Symbiotic.
It's a great, no larger word has ever been used on this podcast. I appreciate that.
Totally. Who do you got on the old pod today?
Well, today we're talking with Erika, the Boss Bozhko. We're doing, and of course the Wansters here.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, here's today's title. You can lose the game, but you can't lose the locker room. We're talking about how, like sometimes you lose. The result is what it is, but you just can't lose the team. Any thought come to mind when you hear that?
It's everything. It's everything. You want to know why?
Tell me.
Sometimes your outward success can be going up, but your inward integrity can be going down, or vice versa. Sometimes it looks like you're going down, but your character's going up.
Ooh.
And the team is everything. So it's a long game we're playing.
That's right.
Every season, it's got the journey. So you guys are gonna smash it. I just wish I was with you.
Gosh, we're gonna make
so much to tell you about. So much.
I can't wait. I'm gonna call you after this, and then we're just gonna grab the cameras. We're gonna fly down to Miami.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do another pod. By the way, one of my new favorite words, pod. It's just a great word.
I know. I love that.
You're out here using symbiotic, and I'm out here using pod.
Remember we used to say, "Oh, you got me in a 3 p.m. sesh. What do you want me to do with that?"
The good old after.
When someone calls it a sesh, it's like it's a session actually.
Also, you and I, we also used to get placed before the big guys, like the night service. There's like the warm up guy. Hey, you're gonna go for 20, and then afterwards, the guy that's 51 years old, has got like an established movement. He's gonna do the real message. But we're appreciating. These are just called appetizers.
Yeah, I just settled that I'm never gonna be the big guy.
Yeah. I'm like the blooming onion of Christianity. What?
But to be honest with you, that might be the key. That might be your next pod. Like, never be the big guy. Like, only, I'm still climbing, dog. You kidding me? Shoot.
What does it say about me that I'm still doing the morning show when I go to Hillsong Conference? Like you do the main session. I'm doing the morning show with Ben Fielding.
Something tells me you won't be doing that anymore, Chad. Rich.
All right, brother. We love you. I'll talk to you soon.
Guys.
Okay. Bye-bye. Oh, he's just the best.
That just couldn't have been more perfect timing.
We talked about calling somebody.
I did.
And then here he is.
Yeah.
Look at God. Look at God. He's just the greatest. We do, Juan, have your people reach out to his people.
Yep.
Oh,
he's a great man.
It will be so,
I'll reach out to his people.
He DMs on Instagram.
Yeah.
Juan's so new. He's like Googling Rich Jr. Who was that guy?
Rich Jr.
He's the best. Okay. So what we're talking about, after that play.
Yep.
And I was using an illustration today with the staff talking about how, Judah is the chaplain of the Seahawks. He asked me to go fill in one night in San Diego as the preseason right after the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And so it's just all the residue of that play.
Yeah.
And you could feel amongst the players, I could sense, oh, this is not going to go well.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't lose the game. In a lot of regards, he lost a lot of those players.
Yeah, the locker room.
Which is the locker room, right? And so I go, how do you lose the locker room? I always think it goes back to decisions that you're making. You and I are in the decision-making business.
Yep.
Whether you like it or not, we're making decisions every day. What am I going to wear? What phone calls am I going to pick up and answer?
Yep.
Is Juan going to be allowed on the pod or not?
Oh, behind the curtain.
Yeah,
you're
just making constant decisions, right?
Every day.
And I always think it's the decisions that you make that allow for the locker room to be with you or against you.
Yeah.
And it's so much of it is nuance.
Mm-hmm.
So much of leadership is a nuance.
Yeah.
It's like stuff you can't put your finger on. You're like,
You feel it.
I know they're good. They're trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're doing. As I put down a few different things I think are really important. I want to talk to you about lack of execution. So like when you can't follow through, when you can't get your job done, when you can't execute what we all said we are going to do. I always think self-confidence, where does that come from? Self-confidence comes from I do what I say I'm going to do.
Yep.
And when I execute on my characters, morals, values, standards, appointments, when I execute that, great execution builds great confidence.
Oh, yeah.
And I just feel like that even with teams, like when the team's like, we said we were going to do a conference, we got all the marketing ready, all the ticketing ready, the registration, we got the merch, we got the coffee, we got the blah, 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 boom. And all of the executing builds great confidence.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't execute, you can't lead a team.
No.
Because teams they are dependent upon your ability to cross T's, dot I's.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the old saying, the devil's in the details.
Yeah.
And the more detail-oriented you can be, the greater the team's success just flows.
Yep.
The next one I put is accountability, which I love this one because I was watching Alabama play football recently, Nick Saban, and one of the keys I think to his success is he holds everyone accountable.
Yes.
And I can't stand when I'm around organizations where they allow talent to go unchecked. So they're saying we value the talent more than the culture. And so this person is allowed to be tardy or have a bad attitude or not, subscribe to the same values and culture because we're going to tolerate this because of what it's delivering. Yeah. That sends a signal to the locker room.
It deteriorates culture.
And it basically says like, we're all going to play by these rules except for, I just believe in high accountability. Yeah. Even reports, like when we have reports in our culture, it's like, hey, just like this is where this area is at. This is where this team is at. This is where our parking or, whatever it is. Your numbers don't lie. I always believe that. Your numbers tell a story. It doesn't tell the whole story, but it definitely tells a story.
Yeah.
And if you don't have accountability, I think people that struggle with being held accountable are only exposing their insecurity.
Yeah, because they're probably not executing, which goes back to their confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all
tied together. Yeah. Because the more secure I am, the more I'm like, no, I want to be held accountable.
Yeah. Well, and if you're executing to the best of your ability, even if your report, like I love what Rich said, like you could be not doing as well and have a great team and like you're going to be fine.
Yeah. Yes, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think great accountability. I was thinking about this person in our church recently. Julie and I sat down with them. Yeah. We're like, how you doing? We want to make sure you're good in the right spot, in the right position, blah, blah. And she said to us, she was like, 2 years ago, the last time the three of us sat down, I couldn't handle just a fraction of criticism.
Jeez.
She's like, here now 2 years later, I'm asking for feedback. Like, tell me what I'm doing. I always think that's growth.
Yeah.
Like if you're a leader, you're craving feedback. Mm-hmm. I love that we just did a survey with the church.
Yeah.
And
cool.
And the feedback is so great. It's like, oh, you guys don't like it when we do this, and you really wish we did more of this. And I can't get better without feedback.
Right.
It's like, think about every great company is asking you, please take our survey.
Yeah.
But most leaders are like, don't mess with my ego.
Yeah.
I'm too fragile.
Yeah.
You can't be precious and be a leader.
Yeah.
You can't
That's
be
true.
an eggshell leader.
No.
The third one is lack of judgment,
Mm.
which I think, in this scenario we're using 1 yard line, they made the call that the science, the data, the math said in this scenario we run this play, which I'm always like, okay, there's science and then there's art and there's common sense.
There's gut, common sense. Like,
There's
are you there in the moment?
There's the
But, like,
data, and then
whatever.
there's the guy.
Yeah.
he's the Skittle guy. He's,
Okay.
He's Beastquake is right there.
Right
Yeah.
there.
But judgment, we're always making judgment decisions.
Yeah.
We're always making judgment calls. Malcolm Gladwell, he calls it thin slicing. Like you've got to be quick at just making quick decisions. In real time, my money's going here, my time's going here. The thing that's so interesting about leadership is everybody wants your time.
Yeah.
And you're always trying to figure out I was thinking about Jesus, the greatest leader that ever lived. He's like, don't throw your pearl before swine, which basically is like, don't spend time in places you shouldn't. I got to make great judgment calls on where should I put my investment?
Yes.
Where should I put my effort? Who are my friends? Who's my community? Who's the people I'm raising up?
Yep.
And the more I work on, I think you have to work on this, your decision-making skills.
Totally. You have to exercise this skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more that you work on your decisions, the better your decisions become. You challenge them.
Yes.
And you go, wait, I could have done this. Why did it's such a funny thought, but it's like there's always 20/20 vision in hindsight.
Yeah.
Like you can always look back and go like, well, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah, like everyone's an expert in hindsight.
Yeah.
Opinion,
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I should have gone on Waze app instead of the Google map or whatever.
Maps every time.
Maps every time, or ordering, or DoorDash, or Postmates. It's always regret. But I think we can learn from that. But I think to the best of your ability, if you want to win the locker room, win your organization, win your team, you got to make great decisions in real time.
Yes.
Can't always be going backwards and going like, I'm an expert in rewind.
Yep.
No, it's like I want to be an expert in I'm good at making decisions. And I think that's why you have to give the best part of your day to decisions and the worst part of your day to people.
Yeah. I love that thought.
What I mean by that is like you get decision fatigue. They say this about judges, that the longer the day goes, you don't want to see a judge at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
You want to see a judge that's sharp at 8 a.m. because the longer your day goes, the more fatigue you get.
Yeah.
So if you can, fire and get your decisions going in the morning, then later get a coffee or spend time with people.
Yep.
But when you're at your best, at your strength, you want to be making decisions. Next one is lack of preparation. You had a great quote about this one. What was it?
If you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail.
Well,
Leadership 101.
Do you have any other ones like that? Like drop another bar.
Okay. Like ones I've learned over the years. We sweat in preparation.
God, I love this
so
stuff.
we don't bleed in battle.
Yeah, I love this stuff. I love this
any?
stuff.
Juan, do you have
one?
one? Come on, these are good.
Wait, preparation ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
You gotta spit it out, brother. You're gonna have to say it at some point.
If you don't prepare today, you will fail tomorrow. Something.
Okay.
Your lack of preparation
that's a good one.
does not constitute an emergency on my part.
I always like that
Something like
one.
that.
I always like that. You could throw that one, flip that around on somebody.
And then you're like, whoa, chill.
You're yeah. It's
Like,
kind of
that's
aggressive.
an aggressive one. But I remembered it because I was like, that's aggressive.
Yeah, and you can always use that one on your spouse, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You
We're
can-
not recommending that.
Yeah, I'm not recommending that one. That's not. Don't tweet that one at Leadership Lean
Yeah,
In.
don't do that.
Your lack of preparation. That's pretty sassy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sassy. But I do think preparation is like excellence speaks.
Yep.
When I go to Disneyland, it's screaming at me.
Oh yeah.
It's just yelling at me the whole time I'm there. All that's I'm being communicated to is like, we prepared for you.
Yes.
The signage, the streets, the
clean.
lines, it's prepared.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I went to the Masters and I'm walking around Augusta, Georgia, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
what an
my
experience.
gosh, it's just yelling at me. The excellence speaks. Is a proverb, right? Just it talks to you.
Yeah.
Preparation yells out loud.
Yeah.
I am ready. It's like, a great compliment for communicators if somebody says to you, wow, you never look at your notes.
Yeah.
How do you do that when you don't look at your notes? Well, you should be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
You should be prepared with the speech that you're giving or the presentation, or you should be prepared for the moment, or, whatever it is, whatever field you're in, whatever industry, if you're prepared, it sends a signal that you care.
Yes. You value it.
Yeah. It's like, by the way, there's nothing worse than being underprepared and trying to prepare in real time, because you feel in your conscience, you're not, and you feel like everybody else knows. And 9 times out of 10, they do.
When you're just not even present. You're not even really in the moment, because you're trying to scramble through the whole thing.
That's it. Yeah. And people can tell. They just really tell. And I think if you're going to lead a team and you're going to care about others, you have to be crazy prepared.
Yeah.
And that's what makes great leaders, in my opinion. They're prepared. Right now, this is December, the month of December, and we're already preparing. Like, we just today rolled out our entire events for 2022, and our budget for 2022. And tomorrow or Thursday, we're gonna finish all of our sermon series for 2022, and we're just getting everything done, because we believe the more prepared we are, the better and the more efficient we're going to be. And that's the great thing post-COVID here. And I say post-COVID sensitively, because these are starting to come back here in LA, and we're coming out of that. It feels again, I want to be very sensitive to people who have, sick relatives. It feels like we're coming back into a normal stride a little bit here in LA, which is amazing to say. And we're able to prepare again and plan again, where we weren't able to do anything for a long time. Just kind of hamstrung, just waiting. Feels good to be preparing. And we know that there's great buy-in with that. And the last one is a lack of connection. So I'm sitting in the back of the room at, this hotel, and Coach Carroll's up there giving a great, inspiring speech night before a game. Saturday night, that's when they do all the little meetings, wide receivers, linebackers, so on and so forth. And then they do one big meeting, and then they go eat. Coach Carroll's up there, he's doing he's just such a great raw energy guy. And you could just tell, this is what I was thinking, and who knows if it happened or not, but I was thinking, who has sat down individually with these guys and connected with them? How are you doing? How do you feel? What's going on? Because they didn't lose a game. For a lot of them, that's a big check. That's endorsements. That's legacy. That's on the way to becoming a dynasty. There's a lot at play here. And so there's who's connecting with them on a grievance level.
Right. That's a lot of loss.
Yeah, when
it's more than a trophy.
You have to embrace grief.
Yeah.
You've gone through major loss in life.
Yeah.
I've gone through major. If you don't embrace grief, it's gonna show up one day.
Yeah, I just had this thought. I think my sister passed away, I want to say 12 or 13 years ago. And but the older I get, the more I realize the impact of grief. I'm older. I know more. And so I imagine those football players, as the time goes on, the magnitude of what they're grieving feels bigger. And if there's no connection, there's no clarifying of okay, you're taking accountability for that call.
Right.
And it makes me feel like you are meeting me where I'm at. I can move forward.
I'm seen and heard.
And
until I'm seen and until I'm heard, you connect with me.
Yeah.
I can't forgive you. I can't move on.
Yeah.
I can't have, we all want closure.
Can't even realize that.
No.
They don't know that that's what they're
Many of us don't. Many of us don't even realize that.
No.
When you're grieving, I think, to be honest, that's the tough thing about our world.
Yeah.
The church world, you have a lot of people leave you, and there's no closure. There's no conversation.
Right.
So there's just these open-ended, grievances.
Yeah.
And that's difficult emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that's why, in the December challenge, I challenge everybody to meet with two sessions of meeting with a counselor, because I think that you have more stuff you're dealing with them from on an emotional, relational level.
Oh yeah.
Than you realize. And even from the back of the room, maybe coach can sense this.
Totally.
And it's messing with him.
That's what I was thinking too when you're telling the story of I can imagine being coach.
Man.
And feeling like I let everyone down. And what does that do to your confidence going into another season? And you really have to chuck down all those thoughts.
But I always believe it's like group therapy, right? It's
mm-hmm.
you don't want to get around and, gossip together, but you do want to get around and it helps me sometimes to process, you
Yeah.
know, like with you and your husband, or, you know, other great people in the church, where I can go like, man, I miss them. Wow, they
Yeah.
were amazing. Or,
Yeah.
wow, that could have been, well, wow, before COVID, we were in 3 locations. This thing
Yeah.
was rocking. We were pumping. Sometimes it's good just to talk about stuff
Yeah.
and connect with the locker room.
Yep.
And go like, hey guys, we're not going to pretend like this didn't happen.
It just kind of humanizes everybody.
It does. And I think, you know, what do people follow? You know,
Mhm.
they admire your strengths, but they relate with your weaknesses.
Totally.
So if you can admit, I'm a human, let me take my Superman cape off, and I also feel what you feel.
Mhm.
I think there's great buy-in.
Yeah.
Again, you can lose games, but you can't lose the locker room.
Can't lose
What a
that.
line.
What a line.
It's all about, which, you know, let's be honest, we're just using this as, you know, like an image,
Yeah.
but not as a physical place, because the locker room is a stinky, smelly place. If you remember your middle school locker room, you're like, wait, hold on.
Everyone's
Those
like,
are
I don't
old
know, like, if
benches.
that's
I don't know if we should be.
where I'm going. Honestly,
Yeah.
I just think Ted Lasso. So I was
Oh,
locked
that's
in.
great.
I was
Well,
locked
that's
in.
great. Okay, so
Yeah.
Ted
Yeah, I
has
honestly-
redeemed it.
Yes.
Ted's the best.
Yes.
I just saw that
I have so many
Ted.
amazing things to say about Ted Lasso.
I just heard that Jason
Yeah.
Sudeikis.
Sudeikis, yeah.
Thanks, Juan.
Yeah.
Jason
I just didn't
Sudeikis
even
reached out to somebody about helping. When he was making this show, who was this? Somebody helped him. A great athlete was helping him. Who was it? Oh, but I was thinking, of course he did. Of course he
Yes.
reached out to try and get
Yeah.
help. He's just the best. What a great
The locker room.
The Lasso. Well, do you have any? You have a few thoughts? You have a couple questions?
I actually had this thought as you were talking. Like, let's say you're a leader you're making decisions in real time. That's
Yep.
not an easy thing to do.
Right.
And let's say you're like, I really believe in this decision. I made it. It has unfavorable outcomes. And now I'm in a spot where I've lost the respect of my quote unquote team. If you're in that position, like, what do you do once you've lost it? Like, is it gone forever?
Yeah.
Or how are you recouping the morale
Yep.
of team after you've led
Yep.
in that way?
Well, I think, you got to first determine the damage.
Yeah.
What was the damage? Was it like a game or a Super Bowl?
Right.
How much trauma did we inflict
Yeah,
here? How much
yeah.
drama? How much fallout? I think part of being a leader is assessing the situation,
Mm-hmm.
of going like, okay, who's affected by this? How are they affected by this?
Yeah.
Just kind of analytically, in a linear way, removing your emotions and looking at it from, a real sober place of
Yeah.
going like, what happened?
Uh-huh.
And then just going through individually. I always think it's just, okay, let's talk to them, and then let's talk to them, and let's follow up, and let's just
Mhm.
try and get good
Yeah.
with every person. And I think that just kind of, sometimes things can be overwhelming, and they can be like, wow, the locker room is against me. It's about 2 people,
Yeah.
maybe 3.
Yeah.
And so let's work with those 3. And is the relationship salvageable?
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, let's part ways, and let's say thank you so much for your service, and thank you for being on the team, and we really loved you, and we blessed you.
Stay sweet.
Stay sweet with
Yeah.
everybody. That's our value. If not, then come on, let's move forward.
Yeah.
If you're not exiting, and to the best of your ability, stay kind to everybody.
Yeah.
It's a great question.
Yeah. I love that. And when you're talking about judgment calls,
Yep.
like, you're exercising your ability as a leader to make decisions.
Yep.
Like, practically.
Yep.
What does that look like? Like, what if they're, I can imagine somebody's listening that, like, they're paralyzed by making decisions.
Yep.
Where do you even start? Because oftentimes decisions are associated with either failure or success.
Mm.
So where do you start as a leader if you feel paralyzed by
Yep.
judgment calls, and 2, you feel paralyzed by failure?
Well, I think you got to get rid of your FOPO,
Mm-hmm.
which is fear of other people's opinions.
Yeah,
You can't
that's
let
great.
there is FOMO, but
You
there
just dropped that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a real thing.
It is so real.
Fear of missing out has plagued
Yeah.
our world, but I think fear of other people's opinions might
So
be bigger,
true. I think
because
so
I'm
too.
paralyzed by that. What are they going to think?
Yeah.
The way I get great at making decisions that affect a large amount of people
Mm-hmm.
is I get good at decisions that impact me.
Yeah.
So
good.
I know that if I can lead me, the hardest person to ever lead is you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can lead you you'll have the confidence to lead others.
Yeah.
I know how to bring health to me. I know how to, it's like self-care or whatever. Like I know how to get sleep. I know how to fuel my body. I know how to, have healthy relationships. I know how to take care of me.
Yep.
And so if I know how to do that, then I can serve somebody else.
Yep.
But I can't serve another person or a team, a family, a business if I don't know how to lead me.
Yeah.
So the confidence I have that I bring to the team, the locker room, I know how to lead me.
Yeah. It really starts with us.
Leadership always starts with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I personally love this teaching, and it's convenient because we're going to put the full teaching. This isn't even the full teaching.
Right.
The full teaching's coming out
Friday.
in your leadership email on Friday. That was a shameless plug.
I was loving every second of it.
Thank
and I was
you.
like, how are we going to make this funny? Because it is a shameless plug.
Yeah, but I'm into it. Like, you know what? I want the full teaching.
We work hard on that email. And
you
I
guys should
love,
subscribe. There's things coming.
You should subscribe. I love doing the email.
It's so
I
fun.
think, one of my favorite things is when like a business owner or somebody that leads screenshots it and it's like, dude, I love this one.
Yeah.
It's just like a great practice to write and to get your thoughts out that way.
Yeah, it's so great. Okay, I have speaking of judgment calls.
Okay.
It's time for rapid fire questions.
Ooh,
okay,
here we go.
I'm going to ask you a few like this or that questions.
Okay.
It's just a little bit.
Yeah.
Warm up. Okay, we're going to warm you up. Frank Sinatra or Michael Bublé for
Ooh,
Christmas?
Frank all day.
Oh, okay, classic.
No, I'm not a big Bublé guy.
Really?
No.
Well, for Christmas.
No.
Nope.
No.
Say no more.
No.
Hot coffee or iced coffee?
Oh, hot coffee all day.
Okay. What's your coffee of choice?
Americano
drink.
with cream.
Every time. Do
In
you change it in the afternoon?
In the afternoon I go iced almond milk cap.
Oh, wow.
I like an iced almond milk cap in the
okay.
afternoon, but in the morning time there's
Yeah.
nothing better than hot coffee in the morning.
Yeah,
It's just nothing better.
I did just purchase a coffee maker for home.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, I know.
That's a
it was
grown-up
inspired
purchase.
by the October challenge. I think
Yep.
we did coffee at home.
Yep.
And I was like,
Worst month of my life, but
yeah,
yes.
Roman my husband makes all the coffee at home.
Yeah.
God bless him.
God bless his soul.
I don't know how to make coffee. You think I would? I
You
don't.
would-
So I went out and got myself a little coffee maker.
Yeah, Juan, we're not even going to ask if you make coffee at home. We already
We
know the answer
we
is
know that you do.
no.
Okay. I actually asked Julia to give me some questions. She gave me
Okay.
some. If you were to be anything else besides a pastor, what would you be?
Man, I have so many answers that just came into my head, but I want to choose
First one that came.
First one was a rapper. Gosh, that
I
would
was
have been
gonna
fun.
say
You went-
besides a DJ.
Yeah, DJ, rapper, music. I'd love to be I'd love to
Producer?
anything in music. I would be so
Yeah.
excited. I think, but I do love sports so ridiculously much.
Yeah.
I would love to do this like about sports. I actually I would love
That'd
to
be
be
fun.
like a commentator or something,
like a
sports journalist.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start like veering the podcast.
Yeah, it's like
We're like, this has got weird.
yeah. How did they get it to be about like the point spread about the game this weekend?
Yeah, and he's like, and that's how I'm tying that into your personal leadership today. Okay, last thing. First word that comes to mind when I say these words. Zoe.
Man, great, fun, amazing people.
Decaf coffee.
Hell on earth. The worst idea known to man. The devil's ploy to take you out. The strategy of Satan.
Best basketball player of all time.
Best Michael Jordan's the best. My favorite is Magic Johnson, but the
Okay.
best is Michael.
Best city in the world.
Los Angeles.
Yep, set you up for that one. Okay, last thing. Tell us something no one knows about yourself. The leaners want to know.
No one knows that I have a tendency to sleep in hoodies. Like I love to sleep in a hoodie.
Wow.
Yeah, during
It's like a cocoon.
during the winter months, our room
Yeah.
is so cold because my wife is an ice queen. What? What did I just say? I mean, she likes it cold. Like what? Juan, edit that out. I'm kidding. No, but Julia wants the house so cold. She loves it to be. She has this whole thought, and every time she says that, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. She's like the Norwegians, and I'm like, I'm out.
Oh yeah.
Every
Do you
time she
sleep
says
better
it.
cold.
Yeah, the Norwegians, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you lost me at the Norwegians.
Yeah.
The moment you said Norwegians, I'm out.
No. I'm
But she
cold.
wins because she's the queen.
Yeah.
And so now I'm in this frigid house. I'm worried about my children's safety.
Yeah.
And I'm having to sleep like all bundled up. So these winter months, your boy is suffering.
He's in a hoodie while he's sleeping. Well, that's all I have for you today.
That's great.
I
Good
know.
stuff.
I just,
we
mixed
had
it up.
I loved it. We had a phone call. We phoned a friend, or
Yeah.
a friend phoned us.
We're gonna set that up because that's gonna be great.
We got to start doing that more.
Yeah.
We'll call
Who do
let's call somebody. Let's call somebody next time. Who can we call? We can call Let's call somebody fun. You know, that was a
Jason
fun.
Kennedy would be fun.
Oh gosh,
He's
he's
very
so
funny.
funny. He's ridiculous. I can't even
Yeah.
keep up. I
So-
laughed the whole time. He's
That's
so
so
funny. We'll call somebody great.
Yeah.
We love you. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, commenting on Leadership Lean In, sharing it, and also subscribe to the email.
Do it.
As Erika mentioned, keep leaning into
Yeah.
the subject of leadership. We're going to get a little bit better. We love you.